Let me tell you about this girl, maybe I should. I met her in Philly, and her name was Brian. See, we be making love constantly, that's why my eyes are a shade blood burgundy. The way that we kiss is unlike any other way that I be kissing when I'm kissing. What I'm missing, won't you listen? Brown sugar, babe. I guess high up your love, I don't know how to be. Brown sugar. Something about you. Something about you. Something about you. Oh, sugar, when you're close to me, you love me right down to my knees. And whenever you let me hit it, sweet like honey when it comes to me. Skin is caramel with the cocoa eyes. Even got a big sister by the name of Chocolate. Brown sugar, babe. I guess high off of love, don't know how to behave. Brown sugar. Oh, something about you. Something about you. Something about you.
OTS Mike, how's it going, brother?
Salute, my dog. What's going on?
Yeah. You know, before we get started today, and everybody heard the beautiful sounds of D'Angelo. And I think everybody knows why we're here today, for the culture, episode 4. And title of this episode is Quality Over Quantity. Where today we're gonna celebrate D'Angelo and his music and just everything he meant to the culture. Um, we're going to definitely give him his flowers today, while everybody is still mourning. You know, rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family, his friends, and just all of his fans and everybody who appreciates music and appreciates this culture right now. That's a big loss. He's one of a kind. He's an icon, and there's not they didn't make a lot of him to begin with, and we don't have a lot of them left right now. So that's a big loss to the culture and to the music. Um, this is not one of those things where it's your funeral today. I don't want to do that. I want to more so celebrate him, his music, what he meant to me. I know what he meant to you. So that's what I want today to be about. I know there might be moments to where it's gonna, take a turn where it may be sad, but this is a celebration of his life and really giving him flowers.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think when you think of D'Angelo and just the the quality of everything that he did and how precise he was, the amount of love you can tell he had for his craft. Saw it in his live shows. You saw it in his performances. Like, obviously, the music. Um, a lot of people try to compare him to others, and I'm sure he's heavily influenced by a lot, but there's no one like him. And we'll talk about that today. But again, the world, the music world, the culture, he's going to be greatly missed, but he will live on through his music, and we will make sure that we do our part with that.
And you just said something, and he's Versus is coming back next week, this weekend, next week. I know it's coming back.
Yeah,
But
Cash No Limit, right?
yeah. He's the only artist to do a solo versus. It's D'Angelo versus
Smoke.
D'Angelo, and his and because I don't think, and this is no disrespect to any other artist, there's I think of John Legend and other people, but like somebody that people usually compare him to, but there was no comparison to him, and that's no disrespect. I love some of the people that others compare him to, but D'Angelo had something that was just his own. Um, and what we're talking about is in the way you opened up with Brown Sugar, and that gets to the first album, and you got to think about the time when it dropped, 1895. I was a sophomore in college when that dropped. So, and for me, I went to the University of Tennessee. I went to a PWI where you're still I'm trying you're trying to find your way, and you're trying to find your tribe of people along the way, somebody you identify with. And this was the soundtrack to a lot of me finding my tribe and finding my friends that we got through college together with, because I played football, but you don't want to hang around football. I was more cultured than that, I think, and that's not this. I had a lot of cultured friends, but I didn't want to talk sports and do everything all day, just all day. So I wanted to do, and especially in '95, you think about the time, that's when a lot of the just finding my just not finding, but digging into my cultural identity, and just what being black meant, what being a black man meant, a young black man. So finding people to share that same experience with, this was like the soundtrack to a lot of that. Because if you think of, we were coming out of the '80s, early '90s, real heavy hip hop influence, but the group of people we were hanging around with, it was males, females. It was just what what we now call just the vibe. He set that tone for you could sit and talk and not be pressured, and not like feel like the music is making you don't want. It just made you relax and just feel good about being around other people that looked like you. And the music was it because I have older brothers. I have actually, there's older brothers, other cousins. So I grew up listening to Marvin Gaye, to Curtis Mayfield, to Parliament, to the musicians of the '70s, '80s, and not to say we didn't have great music in the '80s, early '90s, but it was a different type of music. And I feel like he started to give me some of what I grew up listening to, because he was bringing the musicianship back. He plays the drums, he plays the piano, plays the guitar, electric and bass. He plays the saxophone. So he was bringing back a lot of that musicianship to just give us something to just be cool around.
Yeah. So excuse my language when I say this. How much time we into this video? I know you're not supposed to cuss too early.
You can cut all you want to, brother. We don't.
Well, I'm not going to cuss, but I'm going to say he embodied the nigga around the way who was talented. Just a dude who looked like us. We'd be maybe go shoot some hoop or something, but you didn't realize he can literally go back and play through the 4 instruments and be like, whatever. But when he was into it, like when he does it, it was just with such smoothness and just calmness and just natural ability, and he played and sang like he really, really cared. But it's just so damn cool doing that, right? And this is me now talking about time. This is '95 now. I'm 11 years old, right? So it takes me back to 2 vivid times, right? So this album, Brown Sugar, reminds me of summertime and being at camp, and me now middle school. Like now I'm like the girls is girling for me, right? So I'm going through puberty. I'm starting to have different feelings about women. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of handling myself a little different. I'm not just running around outside. I'm having conversations now. I'm exploring, what it means to be attracted to the opposite sex. So there's that piece, right? So it reminds me like summertime and summer camp. And then it also reminds me of, and I'm from up top, but we spent our summers in the South when we was in the camp. So it reminds me of being down South, hanging around Gamma, our cousin, and my cousins down South, and that kind of being the background soundtrack to Blackness and what it meant to be, a person from around the way but we just had so much soul, and it was just a soundtrack for how we were living it. and it connected everybody, right? You know, Gamma's 4 years older than me, you're a little older than me, but that's what music does, right? You find something to gravitate towards, and you'll lean on that. And so, you know, I won't go through everything, but Brown Sugar itself, just hearing that, you know, that first part with the drums and just how it just drops and just, you know, and again, he was just natural. You know, he had that leather bomber on, and you know what I mean? He was just playing and he's smoking a cigarette. It's like the cool shit, but for us, like for our hip hop culture, right? Like you remember the old school movies where they'd be at the bar and the lady be singing on the piano and the guy be smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
This was our version of that sort of thing.
Our version of that.
You know what I mean? We was at the kickback spot, the hole in the wall spot, and you know, and having his D was having a cigarette, and then put that down and then get to work. So you know, it was just so many different things that came from this first project. And you know, I'm thankful that our background in music from our older cousins, brothers, parents, that allowed us to understand exactly what this was, but we just knew it was for us now.
I'm gonna tell you why it was so dope for me. You hit like a lot of my points I want to just, circle back to, because we had just, we had come out of the Pretty Boy, a lot outside of Jodeci, a lot of the Pretty Boy R&B era, the Poindexter era with Boys the Men. Dru Hill was a certain sort of way. They dressed that they did a little bit of some of what D'Angelo did, but it wasn't like the street, like you said, like that. D'Angelo was like the dude that you hung out with down the street that could also sing, but he was from the church and he played like 7 instruments, but he had on a do-rag, a vest, and everything. He would get at you if he needed to get at you. And that's what D'Angelo felt like, just listening to his music. And another thing you said, and this is another connection, throwback to the last episode, you coming down our way, coming down south. Virginia, we talked about this before with me, you, and South. Virginia is like the best of both worlds. It's in the South, but they have that northern influence to where they are. And D'Angelo was in New York when he passed. He spent a lot of time in New York. He did a lot of shows in New York. He has that influence, but he still has that southern soul about him. So he embodied everything that I think you take the best of, and he had that eclectic nature of what New York City and what the East Coast brings. So I think that he just took all of that and just like a gumbo and just made it into something special with a do-rag or a scarf on that you just again, and the cigarette was just like something that just you identified with more. Like I could see myself hanging around D'Angelo, just like Jodeci. We did that. That was from our people. They're more relatable. Some of these people, some of these cats, they were just like caricatures of an R&B artist or of an artist or a musician. D'Angelo is somebody like will be sitting around doing what we're doing, but just can blow, just can sing.
Right. Just know he would jazz club, maybe just leisurely playing, and all of a sudden they're having a jam session, right? Somebody starts scatting and somebody start playing this instrument, and he'll match. Like you could just tell his care for the music, right? And going back to quality over quantity, right? We connect when the artist cares, and there's a lot of artists today that are just doing it for whatever reason. Right. A lot of artists won't put the time and effort, the seriousness into their craft the way this man did. And he was also around a lot of other artists too that, still sharp and still. So, that's something we could talk about later. But, he just showed the ultimate respect for music, and you can see it in his instrumentation. You heard it in his song choices. I don't think he had more than 14 songs on a given album, right? He kept it between 10 and 14 songs, which probably is a whole nother. We could do a whole nother pod on like long albums. That's one of my pet peeves. I don't like long albums.
We talked about that. But he probably recorded 50 songs to give you the 12, 13, 14 songs. He gave you the best of what I recorded. You don't need to hear everything I recorded.
Correct. Correct. I agree.
And
But I just want
you
to, sorry, to cut you off. I just want to thank him again.
yeah,
It just part of the soundtrack to my life. I know we're gonna jump into that head first, but I'm just so thankful to have been able to experience his music in real time during those different stages.
yeah, absolutely. And he had a respect for the music. And you see today. So I had the Outcast on last time. I got
Yeah.
the Prince on today. And Prince was one of you can hear his heavy influences. Like you can hear Prince. You can hear some of Parliament. You can hear some of when he plays. You can hear Jimmy. You can hear Sly. You can hear all these different. There's some Stevie in what he does. Like
Mhm.
he just you can tell he cared, and that sounds like it sounds trivial to say. It's like, oh, people care. Like you can tell he cared and appreciated for the music, and he just took all that in and gave us something authentic to him. Like he didn't give. That's why there's nobody else like D'Angelo. There's like you can say they make the same type, and we're gonna get into talk like this was the seed planted for neo soul music that was to come years that dominated the early 2000s and everything that would follow. He birthed that whole genre just by being who he was. And you mentioned like people just like other great artists artists like being around him. He people were drawn to him. Raphael Sadiq, Erica Badu, Jill Scott,
Questlove.
um, Questlove. And these are musicians, people who really do what they do. These aren't people who you have to send them some music. They have to go off, get a team, record something, send it back. They
Serious.
get in and they get in and get to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So brown sugar. So that was, when we talk about this gets into I want to kind of dip off a little bit because we talk about debut albums and that was, this is a little teaser of something that we had planned to talk about before the untimely passing of
Right.
D'Angelo. Just to talk about how people came into the game and the impact. We're sitting here talking about just a gargantuan impact. Like he dropped and he shifted music with this album. He shifted music with this album, and then in this album you're covering. I, I, my thing is if you cover at the time D'Angelo wasn't an icon, obviously, but you cover an icon's music, you better do it right. He didn't just do it right. I don't want to be blasphemous by saying this, but he might have took that and made it his own. Like that might be his. That might be his. No disrespect, Smokey. I love you, Smokey, but
Hey, nah, man. Listen, Smokey wilding out right now, so
Smokey is
we're gonna
wow.
have to we're gonna let D have this one. But you said it. It's the audacity of him during this time, right? The boldness of him. Think about the era we were just talking about. The new Jack Swing had just finished. You had the Boyz II Men. You got all these groups dancing and singing around, and he had the audacity to sit his ass down
In front of a damn piano.
piano.
Guitar, smoke
Hey,
and sit
give me this
smoke.
white background over here, and let me
Yeah.
just do what I do. And I'm gonna just look at the camera and give you these bars. Nah, bro. And then everybody was like, "Oh, this is it. This is it. This is it." And again, it's the hip hop culture meets soul.
Yeah.
That neo like it was for us. It was something for us that we didn't have to boom bap it. It was just perfect. It was a perfect combination. Like you said, the instrumentation, his voice, and just the content as well, right? Like I ain't know really what I ain't know it was a double entendre back then, right?
You're 11. I knew what it meant
Right.
though.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't catch that one. I didn't catch that one time I was in high school. I was like, oh, you need that brown sugar too. All right.
Yeah. And you
Oh,
said bars because you said it, the connection to hip hop. And it's not like he was somebody who rapped. Like but rappers like and he didn't do a ton. He did collaborate, and when he did the collaborations,
right.
but it just fit. Like you could play that in a set with if you're doing so we didn't have playlists, we didn't have the aux cord back then. But if you were switching the tapes and the CDs and right, you in the there we go, the changer. We had the CD changer then. You
Right.
could put that in the however many discs you had. If you had the money, the 10 discs, you could slide that in with your hip hop music, and you're not breaking, what's going on there. And that's what he was doing. And
The music.
that really just brings on like what he did with his music. You could play it in the
That
disc
that
changer.
mean that mean mug head nod that we used to have when we used to listen to rap, it didn't
Yeah.
stop. It's the same thing when you switch it to D'Angelo. I'm doing this and I'm singing along now, and yeah, nah, it was that was by far one of the most impactful albums for me in the 90s as a young man who didn't really understand all the content yet, but had something that I could knock to and still feel like, all right, this is for the guys. He's not breaking down, begging, and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm being cool. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like I'm just and sit down, young lady, and listen to this.
Right.
Right.
He was still he was still courting her, but I ain't begging you, but hey, what's going on? Yeah.
You sit in that stool. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna
Yeah.
play this piano. We gonna see.
If this piano don't work, I'm going to get that guitar. If that
Some
guitar
bitch.
don't work, I'm going to
Some
I'm something.
wait,
You
hold
gonna
on, wait.
feel
You
something.
imagine that? Can you imagine having that flex? Be like, oh,
What
what
you
type
want
of
to hear?
music? Just
Oh,
being able
what you
to
want to hear?
just give
Yeah.
what?
What you like?
Man,
Like, you gotta get it.
I knew what you was doing
Like,
when you didn't give me those talents. Cause boy, listen, I don't know if I'd have been using
no,
it for good.
I used to get a drum or something. Like he got like if it because usually it's like the lead singer when you talk about musicians, then you got the drummers. Like he could just fill out whatever the situation was, and he could just cover all bases. I'm a lead singer. I can play the guitar. I can do the drums. I can hit them keys for you too. And then if you just kind of quirky, I can go get the saxophone and just I
You
got
want
you.
it.
Good.
You want it.
I
And,
got
and,
you.
and
So
I always think about when I hear things, uh, and just this is just one of my curiosities when I hear a song, like the end result of the song. I automatically want to figure out what that person was thinking in the studio, what inspired them, what was it, a happy accident, was it, he was playing with this key and then all of a sudden it just came, or did you
yeah.
come in with an idea? I'm big on watching studio sessions, so I used to
Yeah.
help my uncle, so Uncle Brett's brother, Uncle Troy, used to be an engineer and used to do a lot of vocal coach. So I used to be in those sessions a lot. And those sessions can get tiring, right? So just being inspired in those moments to craft these things, and you already tell, like these aren't made in the microwave, right? These are songs that are being crafted from the tiniest note or the riff, or
Yeah. Yeah.
to the big production sound that you hear at the end. So, and that's why you can feel that quality. You can feel that care, right? You could tell they cared about every single thing. So I just hearing the output of these songs and just sitting there like, bro, they just sat down and just came up with that.
So
Crazy.
it's funny you say that because you just hit because as an amateur beat maker slash producer, which I don't know if you know, I have a hard drive of like 200 beats, and I'm like you. I like to watch studio sessions because me and Andrea we talk about because I'm always like you. I'm fascinated by how did you come up with that? These like iconic bass lines that people use, these iconic melodies that people use. I'm like, how did you? Because I've been through that process of
Hmm.
trying to catch something, and it's like I have a couple D'Angelo samples in there. I have I have a handful on the hard drive that I'm trying to find a chord. It's an old hard. I'm trying to find a chord to hook it back up. Um, but that process of how you come up with it and that nature of okay, it's better, it's good, but is it good enough? And do
Hmm.
you have people around you like all these like people that he attracted to have the quality that you eventually put out, but then also be confident enough and be good enough to you can throw out you do a jam session and I'm gonna drop that too. Just because I give you the carefully crafted, I'm just a perfectionist music, but I'm gonna also put out these jam sessions with these great artists to where we're just creative and do our thing. And to just kind of tie all the things like Brown Sugar, that took that and that we rolled that from 95 to like 97. We rolled that for like 2 years. That was that's one of those where it was I played
Having social media.
yeah.
That was the beauty
I-
of not having social media. It was hard to get tired of things.
yeah, because you didn't get burned out and I like people talk this is where we talk about streams. If they counted how many times I played that CD, if like I bought and then I played it 7,000,000 times. So he should get credit for the 7,000,000 times
Listen,
I played it after I bought it. And I
I
still
feel
have it. I have my old CD case. I still have all the original. That's like they almost like records now, which I'm buying
right,
vinyls too. I have a lot of
right.
vinyls too, but I have all the original. I have the original D'Angelo CDs that I bought back in '95.
And you know what I've been wanting to do, and I just gotta get it done. I gotta start these. We gotta start these record collections. Like I have to start my record collection,
Yeah,
um and and I'll build it. I'm gonna build it with the essentials. Like obviously his
yeah.
albums go in the essential pile. We're both proud Hovengers. Hove's album's gonna go in that same pile. Nas, Wu, all my boom bap guys, Outkast.
My
And
record, and I'm gonna show my record collection. It's over here to the left. I'm gonna show you some of the ones I have.
please, please do, please do, please do. I think that's
Oh,
important. I think that we have to get back to that and collecting records. I think that's a lost art and something that if you know, you know. But yeah, I've been slacking on my job.
watch this. I'm gonna see if you know. I'm gonna give you get a lot of. I'm gonna see if you know who this is. One record we have in our collection is Funky Nassau. You know who Funky Nassau is?
Bahamas.
That's your people, man. That's your folks, man. Yeah, that's some of your like. We got the Funky Nassau was a
That's
big
crazy.
hit. It was a funk hit in like I forgot what 77,
They played
78.
all the Bahamas. We used to go down for things in
Yeah,
Bahamas.
you hear anybody that's from the islands
Yeah,
that ended up like you've heard Funky Nassau a
yeah.
million times, and we've got a signed record from your cousin
No
that
way.
made it. Grandma Joyce, yeah, it was Grandma Joyce had it.
Wow.
So yeah, we got it. We'll tell you. I'll let you see. We got it. I got it. It's
That's,
in good hands. It's under care. So yeah,
that's
but
amazing.
that just getting back to D'Angelo and the icon that he was, and that the debut and the seed that he planted with that, it's like, how do you follow up that? When do you follow up that? And that gets into a lot of that. That's back to the quality over quantity. It's like
Mhm.
I'm sure the record label pressured him
Oh yeah.
in 96, 97, 98, and 99. Like we need something like this is a smash. This is it. We gotta follow this up. And I'm sure he had and now we'll probably hear the
Mhm.
music he had from that time that he recorded, but the artist that he is and the artist that we saw and what we were able to hear from him, that's not what he wanted us to hear at the time. That's not what he was ready to put out.
Mhm.
When he was ready to put something out, he was ready to put something out with Voodoo. And it's
Oh,
like, and it could, and I don't think it was with him. Some artists like when you come out that way, when you debut that way, I think you get nervous, you worry about the sophomore jinx, you do all this stuff. I don't think that was it with him. I think he was just doing his thing in New York at the clubs, going out playing, writing for other people, producing for other people, and now this is what I feel I want to put out to the world. And
let,
he put it out to the world.
let's think about that time, like you said, right? So 95, we burnt. It went diamond in everybody's cassette, CD, car. If you had a CD player in your car at that time, that was dope. um, so a lot of things were happening, right? You think about 97, 98, which we talked about before, might be arguably one of the greatest years of hip hop
Oh,
we've
the
ever seen.
yes,
We'll debate that, but yes,
the greatest.
I know I'll be the contrarian on that.
Yeah,
I
you'll be
digress.
wrong.
We'll talk
You'll
about
be wrong on that. I'm sorry.
that.
You're
But
wrong.
think about all that time that passed and what was happening with music, right? The death of Biggie and Pac, which impacted everyone. The transition to music with Puff and those guys doing their thing, Hove ascending where he was, Outkast doing what they're doing, Fugees, Lauryn Hill, right? You got a lot going on. That's a lot of like, if you were competitive during that time, you are one of them ones. So that speaks to what you're saying, right?
To get a release date, you had to be him or her. To get on the slate, you had to be him or her.
We got to look that up at some point, like that fourth quarter release, because that's when back in the day, right? For us back in the day, when fourth quarter is like if you were releasing anywhere in October, November, December, you were them.
You could be DMX and release in the fourth quarter and the first quarter in 1998, to be exact. But anyway, I digress. We talking about that.
But yes, like so, I can only imagine what he felt like, and the pressure that record labels are their own beast, right? I don't think anybody put more pressure on himself musically than he did, right? So like he cared about the craft, so I'm sure he, when you're cooking up, you want to make sure it's right. So you have that coupled with actual release that you have to have for your record label, and then the new millennium, right?
Yeah.
And this dropped 01. Now with that,
late
2001. I'm gonna tell you why I know, because my ex-girlfriend at the time. We're gonna talk about the Untitled video. That just bro. We talk about pressure. We talk about having to compete. Boy, we'll talk about that. But even for me as a young man at this point, right? So you got 95. I was 11, whatever. Yeah, 11, and now 2001. Fast forward now, I know some things. Right? I'm in high school. I know some things now.
What you know, man? What you know?
I knew enough to know what was going on with that album. So now my music taste. So we've gone through a slew of neo soul records, right? We got the.
But how did we get there? You gotta talk. Don't just say we went through a slew of them. You still gotta go talk about how you got there, because of this man we talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah. So understanding where we are now is 01, and we get this masterpiece. Where were you?
Oh, so you got to think. So this is another. We talk about timestamps. It's like I timestamped the first record because I'm a sophomore in college.
Mm-hmm.
So now I leave college in '99. I go to Canada, get hurt, come back. I'm going through my whole phase of. So I'm finding myself in '95. I'm finding a new me in 2001. So I'm in Charlotte. I get to Charlotte late '99. I'm starting to work. I'm starting to, as a young adult, a young man. So I'm there. I'm out here trying to figure it out as a 26-year-old, working young professional, transitioning from playing sports, coming to a new city, and I'm in that whole phase. I'm in that. I said whole, WHOLE
Clean that up.
phase.
Clean that up.
Not whole phase. I need to clarify that. I'm in a whole new. No, it wasn't a cleanup. They heard it the first time. I'm in a whole new phase of my life trying to figure it out, and so, and I'm helped because you got to think about the scene at that time. So you wouldn't appreciate this because you're still young. You appreciate a lot of it, but so at this time, I don't know what year the Love Jones come out, but there was the whole scene of you have spoken word events.
Yep.
You have things and neo soul was the soundtrack to everything. At that point, even as a mid 20, late 20-year-old, where I was at that point in my life, of course I was doing I was I like the variety at that time. So I ain't gonna tell a lie. I had to catch myself. On Monday, Tuesday, I may have no, take that back. Monday, Tuesday, I was in the Neo Soul Club, and then on the weekends, I was Lil Jon and everybody else. I was doing that, but I love the variety of what we had to go through at that time. You could get a little bit of everything. I could be artsy fartsy, Neo Soul, laid back, whatever, early in the week, and then just lose it on the weekend. So, and that's where we were at that time. And then, like you said, he laid the foundation for Neo Soul, and then after he did that, everybody came behind him, and we're just in a lot of great ones, great ones, just at one after the other. And then it's like, oh, and that's so. Can you imagine just sitting back looking like I started this? Now everybody else is doing it, but let me show you how to really do it. So that's where I think you can. That's where you get your appreciation again. You can tell, like, all right, y'all did it. I appreciate it. Hand clap. But okay, here's how you do
Do
it.
that.
Yeah,
Come look at this.
yeah,
Well, where do you want
yeah.
to go from there? Like, listen, I can't say enough great things about Voodoo. Um, I mean, that's his. What would you call that? Would you call that his blueprint? We start. So for the fans out there, all right, this whole language we're gonna talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
most
you gotta translate this to other
try to
people.
do
We
better.
use that language to each
Yeah.
other.
So
Um,
what do you think that's the blueprint? What do you think?
I did, but your cousin wants to fight me and say that brown sugar is, but see, but that's brown sugar is his reasonable doubt though.
That's how I look at
And
it.
I look at it the same way, and she seems to think that's a diss. I'm like, because that's really a great example. It's like I think brown sugar is his reasonable doubt, and
Mhm.
absolutely think voodoo is his blueprint. And we were talking about it again today, and it's like because I'm gonna tell you, she's convinced. You know how she get that stern, like, because I was telling her long, like early this year, we had this conversation. I was like, I think Voodoo's better than Brown. I was like, I think it's a better piece of body of work. And she read me up and down. She's like, she started bringing out crew, like she brought out all the big guns.
Right there.
And like, it's hard to make me doubt myself and my opinion. People who
Yeah.
hear you know this. It's hard to make me like, wait a minute. But I was like, I don't know. But then I'm like, nah, voodoo was his maturation, and he was taking what he learned, and he was taking what he had seen other people doing. And it was like, again, it was his, all right, I see y'all, but you need to see me. So I think
Nothing is
that
coming out.
there's levels to everything. And he was still learning. He was young, and this is why I try to tell her. He was still young, and young to the business, young as a person, young to the game, like all of it. He was young. So he took all of that experience, and he had been cooking for 5 years, 6
Mm.
years. And then here you go. So you can't tell me after what I put out the first time I ain't gonna say novice. That's a disrespect. As a prodigy, that's better. He was a prodigy chef, and then I go get some real experience training. I've been running around New York and the world, seeing things, hearing things, writing things, playing things. It's like, so you can't tell me that what I give you 6 years after that, what I've been cooking for 6 years, isn't a masterpiece and isn't, I hate to say better, but is some different level stuff. And it was.
I agree.
It
I
was.
agree. I agree. And you could tell also the industry part of it was his aesthetic, right? It seemed like he was taking better care of himself. They made
Yeah.
him conscious about how he should
Talk,
look and
you getting untitled. We talking about,
yeah,
you getting untitled. How does it
yeah,
feel?
man. Like you listen, you can't. I was '01. I had a beautiful black girlfriend, and sister who, you know, was like this, and you know what I'm saying, like vibing out, you know what I'm saying, and here come D'Angelo with this shit, bro.
He got everybody. So I'm gonna
Like
tell
now I
you,
gotta check if I got the V.
man, ain't nobody got that V. Like, I don't know how he got that. Like, where you get that from?
I
Like,
don't know, man, but I
yeah,
had
it was had to be natural. It was real. So,
man. If I ain't tell you, I started doing more push-ups every night before bed.
so here's what I did. So you just spoke to the influence on the culture
Right.
or the culture, but the way he influenced the culture. So keep in mind, I stopped playing ball in '99. I was
Mhm.
305 in shape when I stopped playing. '01, I was still 305, not in the worst shape I was in, but I wasn't in the best shape I've been in. So I couldn't do the walk around with my shirt off with the V, but I could get the cornrows. I was cornrow out in '01, 2, probably 1 and 2 was right. 3 was out. It was going out. But yeah, because I had to do something. So I went with the cornrows. I couldn't get the V, so I went with the cornrows. He had an influence, and so that was also this was I mean, this of course is internet era,
Mhm.
but it's pre-social media.
Mhm.
That would have been. Can you imagine the virality? How viral that would have gone in the social media, TikTok, reel, whatever era. It went crazy. It went viral before viral was a thing. Can you
Can I
imagine that?
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What other slow songs like that did that?
Um.
There was a couple, I know, right? End of the Road, Boys
mm,
II Men, but
yeah,
this
it didn't do that
was
though. It
different.
didn't. It didn't do that. It didn't do
It
that.
didn't do this. This
No.
was a
So you
I
gotta find a Jodeci song. I think to really do that, you have to dig into the Jodeci catalog or I mean,
like
Sexual
even True
Healing.
Hill
Like,
Sleeping
you
in
gotta
My
go
Bed,
way
right?
back. Like, you gotta go back to like Sexual Healing or Computer Love
Yeah,
or something like that. You really have to go back to
and this was
find
still slower.
slow
The title
songs.
was still slower.
Yeah, it was slow as all. I mean,
That we call it a ballad, right? No, what do we consider ballads now? Like
no, that was a ballad. That was a ballad.
right? We would consider
Yeah,
that a ballad. I don't know
yeah.
by technical methods, so don't
It
quote me
was
on it.
a 2000s ballad. Like it was, every you got to put the stamp on like the sound of what area you're in. It
Right.
was but it was definitely a ballad, and it does like you can if you throw that on right now at a girls gathering event, girls trip, whatever, untitled. No, it had a title. It was called "How Does It Feel?" So that was the title. It'll do what it's supposed to do. And again, like I said, this is a celebration of his life. And I like so leading up to this, if you put that on at any time in that setting, it's gonna do that to the female. It's gonna make the dude go do push-ups or go
Yo,
work out. He's gonna eat better tomorrow. He's gonna start working out and try to grow his hair out. That's what it's gonna do.
and think about that then too. AI with his cornrows and what he was doing with the culture being from Virginia and all that.
Yeah,
I mean, there
yeah,
was just so many things happening during the time, and I really tell people all the time. I think we're blessed to have lived through what I believe is my belief that we lived through the best era of sports and entertainment and music. To me,
yeah,
so the catching the tail end of the '80s, all the '90s, early
yeah.
2000s,
I
even late
don't do
2000s.
as
I
much as
think
I want to disagree with you, I can't, but yeah.
you know what I mean? Was that
As much as I want to disagree with you, I can't. I
yes,
agree with you on that's a fact.
man. Listen, that variety and everything. But anyway,
But hold on,
um,
let me tell you something about what you just said though, because and that's you shouldn't breeze over that point about what we're living through. Because one of my favorite shows is The Office. And right when The Office was ending, they were and Andy Bernard said, I wish there, and I'm gonna paraphrase. I might get it right, but I'm gonna paraphrase. He said, "I wish there was a way to know I was in the good old days while I was still in them." I nailed it. I got it.
wow,
Nailed it. So I wish I had known I was in the good old. So you don't really recognize the good old days until they're over with. So we take things for granted. Like all the things you said we've experienced and lived through, because people tend to look at other people's experience and what they lived through, and you can't recreate that was theirs.
Mhm.
You have your own. You don't appreciate your own. And that's the whole grass is greener thing. Your grass would be green if you watered it and appreciated it. You're looking at somebody else's grass and not appreciating your own. We've lived through some music, some sports, some entertainment, and some people don't appreciate it. And yeah, that you're absolutely right. We caught a wave. We caught a long, a big wave for real, for sure.
Because hip hop is young, right? Like we just celebrated 50 years.
52 or
Right.
51, 50. Yeah.
And now we're seeing, we touched on this before, seeing our older living legends make these quality over quantity, right? We'll call back again, making the Mobb Deep's album, right? That just released, which is a great album. We see Nas.
I wanted to talk about that too, but this is D'Angelo's.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about that.
But again, it's all connects to the quality, right? And that's what we see, and so I think Voodoo is his best album. That's I'll say that. Cuz you can fight me later. Tell Cuz I'm sorry. You can fight me later.
But see, it's two of us, so she'll stand down.
What do you want to talk about the album? Do you want to hear something? You want to touch on?
I want to because I know you have. So I want to talk about my experience from Voodoo first, because I know your experience. I know yours, and I want to definitely give you runway to really talk about that. One thing about one there's a lot on Voodoo, obviously, but as a young man, a song that really resonated with me was Africa, Home, quotation marks. And because I'm gonna get real personal about this for a moment, because get into a lot of talk about stereotypes, tropes, things of that nature. And I'll be completely honest about stuff, because people who know me now will hear some of what I may say and be like, look at me like I'm crazy, or may not believe it, think I'm pies or whatever. But I'm telling the truth. So as a young person, because I grew up watching Tarzan, I grew up watching certain cartoons, I grew up hearing certain things about the continent of Africa and where we're from, where everybody's from, first of all, but where we as African Americans, where that we most identify with as home. I let people tell me what it was. I let people show me what they thought it was, and just create this atmosphere of a place that I, as a young person, had no intention of ever going to, no place to want to go to, or just anything like that. I was like, I just didn't. That was not on my bucket list or plate to go to the continent of Africa. Now, when I got to college and when I started to grow up and I started to think for myself, read for myself, research for myself, that started to change. But you can't condition someone for 18, 19 years and it changed overnight.
Right.
Can't do that. So it started earlier. And then in 2000, when I heard, because I'm the type of person that when I listen to I hear any album that I talk about that I just absolutely love, there's one or two songs on there that, again, because she gets mad at, because I will play it over and over and over and over again. And when I heard Africa, Home, it just did something for me. I just kept listening to my Place of My Descent. Here I'm Far From Home. Just listening to the way he talked about home. Just really, it started to crack. He cracked that even more. That facade I had, whatever I had going on with my hangups about going, that song did a whole lot for me. It built the foundation for where I am and how I think about that right now. And so think about that. So fast forward, I'll turn 50 next month. I'm almost another way. So November 24th of next month, I turn 50.
You look good, brother. You look good.
I'm holding it together. I'm holding it together. holding together. So I'm turning 50 next month, and so when we were planning like what we're gonna do for my 50th. So a few about 3 4 years ago is when I really started to get on this path of like, yeah, I want to go home. It just things started happening here, and really it's a slow burn. Things
Mhm.
started happening here that just makes you want to connect with your roots and where you're from. And just me as a person, again, learning things, reading things, experiencing things, and just really just opening up and just like, all right, quit playing, man. You have to. My thing was, I can't come to this, be on this earth for however long God blesses me with, and leave this earth and not have gone back home. That would be a travesty to everybody that before me that got me here, and just what I believe in and what I do. That would be a travesty not to go back home. So just now going, and it's like just the timing of things. I don't believe things are just completely accidental, but people will try to stretch and make things work. But that was one of the first things. First thing I thought about was, damn, we just lost D'Angelo. And then I listen to it every like. There's never a year that I don't listen to his catalog. And then Africa just immediately popped in my head about
Mm.
what that meant for me for so long. It was a constant reminder of something that I needed to do, should have done, but I had to find my way. And when your cousin, when she asked me, she was like, "We're doing the dates." Cause she knows, you guys have been out here for Thanksgiving. I'm big on like, like holidays, family. I grew up in a big family. When all Connecticut family comes, I'm like, yep, everybody stay at the house, whatever. Like, I'm just big on that. And she was asking me because of the date. She's like, "Do at, you want to be home for your birthday?" And I said, "I am gonna be at home for my birthday. Home." So yes, I'm gonna Thanksgiving, which is that we know what that like I'm talking about our family celebration, not the United States Thanksgiving. So don't nobody come at me for that, because I know what it is and I know what we do it for. But being at home, home for my birthday, and it just connecting to that song. It's called Africa, and he has it in quotations, home, and this is what it is. So, and that's what that like, just to like voodoo for me, like it'll that right there. I'm gonna be over there playing it when I get there. Like, I can't wait. I
So,
can't wait to go to Ghana and be there. I'm gonna share it with people. I may do something over there with some of our family. But I'm the type of person, like, over the years I've gotten bad at it. It's good and bad. I don't take as many pictures or record as much as I used to, because I'm too busy enjoying the moment to
correct.
record and take pictures. But I think that's something that I have to capture, just not just for me, but for other people, and for my Maya, for my grandkids, for whoever else. I think we have to capture that. And I want to talk to some of our people. I want people to, they, for however they can, to enjoy that experience. But man, yeah, Africa, home, voodoo.
That's beautiful. And
That's my.
what part of Africa for the audience?
Oh, we're going to Ghana. We're going to Ghana. Yep.
Heard
And that's this year. We're already Your cousin's already planning, trying to get. She's laying the groundwork for Tanzania. This is probably going to be a yearly thing. So it's like, yeah, see, we
you.
haven't
Count,
even made
count me
it.
in for the next one.
We haven't even checked in for the first trip, and she's already planning the second one. But yeah,
Yeah, y'all don't
yes,
play. Y'all
Africa,
don't play.
home, voodoo, D'Angelo, absolutely. I know you. So I wanted to, and I took like I don't want to again. Your runway. So tell
Wait,
me
did you want
about your voodoo.
wait, before you go? Did you want me to play a little bit of this?
Oh yeah,
So that
let's listen to, so
yeah.
you can get a fit, so you can understand. Thank you, brother. So you can understand why this impacted me, and it continues to impact me the way it does. Let's listen to a little bit of Africa. Oh,
Hold up.
Battery 30%. Connected to.
I know we good.
I'm slacking on my parks.
TPMG's map prepare to.
Hey, they know that we over here at JCTV, we're a young channel. You're gonna get all the background stuff. What you see this year is not what you're gonna see next year. So grow with us and appreciate us. Yes.
Just work with us.
Yeah. I'm not editing this out either. You're gonna get all of it. You're gonna get the awkward moments and everything. I'm not gonna edit nothing.
Listen, this music is too important not to play. And we want to make sure we get it right for the audience. So we appreciate y'all patience. Because this means a lot to us. And we get giddy and excited when we can hear this stuff. Let me see if I can get it right. Sorry, guys, it turned off.
Africa is my descent. Here I'm far from home. I dwell within the land that's meant for many, but not my tone.
Think about this. You're gonna watch the sunrise and listen to that song. Insane.
Man, listen. I got goose. I don't. It takes a lot to give me goosebumps, but I do get them. I'm like a big baby. I get emotional about stuff like kind of easy, but the gig like that just did it. Like just man, yes, Africa home.
I'm excited. So yeah.
So now so that's why I said now your voodoo experience.
My voodoo experience. Now, mind you, the first experience. We'll do the funny one before we do the serious one. All right. So, mind you, again, voodoo came out in 2001. For those who are not our age, younger than us, 2001 was a magnificent time in culture for us. You got Allen Iverson in his prime, Kobe Bryant, Shaq playing together in his prime. Jay-Z is about to drop the blueprint. He's hotter than fish grease. Whatever you think is the best. You saw all these ascensions with all these other guys. This is everybody was in their prime who you've heard about. And this happens. This guy does a video of him butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's watching.
Yeah.
She didn't look at me the same for about a week. Right? That song, I hated that song. I knew it was a great song. I didn't hate it. I was jealous. Because it was just such a with everything that was going on in hip hop, to have that song be the center of attention at almost every award show. All the parodies that were coming out about it. He was able to capture the audience behind some second to none music, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's marketing, right, at its finest, and man, it was a whirlwind. But then, right, there's layers to it. Then you're going down the track list. You like, all right, we got it. All right, bro, you've been working out. That's great, right? We know you can still sing. That's awesome. All right, but let me see what else you got. Man, when you go down this playlist, when I say people like to say a lot, no skips.
Yeah.
My God. Like I would get mad at people if they touch anything. Just let it play and sit down and be quiet.
Let it go. Just let it
Just
go.
let it go. You don't gotta do nothing. It's a masterpiece from the beginning to the end. The instrumentation, the sounds, the music, his voice, his features. Like even I not realize I was gonna hear Red and Meth on the third track of Left and Right, which is a great song.
See the stories behind those recordings though, with like Quest and everybody who worked on that album, just because I like to hear the stories behind it and the record. I would love to see some of those sessions.
I would be surprised if we start because of the tragedy.
Yeah, we'll see because
we're gonna start seeing stuff. But I can't say enough good things about this album. Talk about essentials, talking about, you know, having an album that has so many different messages that we all needed to hear. Now, again, came out 01. Like you, I listen to D'Angelo's catalog yearly, annually, probably biannually, really. Gotta go through them all. And now let's fast forward. 2015, another 15 years. This is how timeless his music is. 14 years, excuse me. This is how timeless his music is. At this time, Messiah had dropped. Black Messiah had dropped, but
14. Black Messiah.
14, right? So at that point, I was just in a different space, but we'll talk about that. But fast forward beyond that. Voodoo was still my baby. That was the one. The one song kind of encapsulates like what this album did for me. And it got me through probably one of my roughest and darkest times when I was actually away from home on my own. In 2015, I had moved to New York City. Had gotten a marketing job 2014, 2015. And you know, I was really chasing a dream to be this business person, right? And I was transitioning from an old career into a new one, and just went on a ledge and did it on my own. Was doing really well, and you know, living that New York City hustle and bustle life. And I used to listen to that album on the train, on the subway every day, right? So anybody who hasn't been to New York or doesn't know New York, the best way to get around, especially during the week, is subway. It's dirty, it's stank. I know it sounds crazy, but when you become a New Yorker or when you live there for work, you just get used to it, right? You just get used to seeing rats and stuff like that. It is what it is. So
you get nose blind. Oh yeah.
With that,
you get nose blind to the stink on the train.
Right. And also the experience that you're getting by living in a major city like that, which I believe is the best city in the world. You know, that's a hub. That's an international hub. And so I was having such a great experience that then all of a sudden, my boss calls me into her office. She's crying. She lost 2 or 3 of her major clients. I had just re-signed my lease in my Midtown Manhattan apartment. I'll let you guys use your imagination as to how much that costs. Literally just re-signed my lease less than a month into my new lease. I get laid off. And the severance package isn't obviously because she lost a couple of her biggest multi-millionaire clients. Hey, I was expendable, and because she could do what I do, and she wanted to give me the company. But anyway, long story short, it didn't work out. I got a severance package, wasn't the greatest. However, I had to sit. Now, literally on the train, not knowing, didn't get mad, packed myself up, give everybody a hug, got myself out of there the same day. Got on that subway, and I went right to Voodoo. And I played this song, track 4, called The Line. And that song was so impactful because I was at a crossroad. Hey, we're gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna have to do this. And that song single-handedly made me straighten up. When I felt a little sad, like, damn, what am I gonna do? No, we gotta put it on the line. We have to make this work. We're gonna take the severance and figure something out with it, but we're gonna make it work. And I can't begin to tell you how much strength it gave me. From the words, I'm gonna put my finger on the trigger, I'm gonna pull it, and then we gonna see what the deal. I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna fight through this turmoil. Like, I could be out here, like, when you go through your first experience, you actually can be homeless, right? You lose your job, you're in a major city, you're about to get in debt again, about to get in debt.
You at that time, like, I didn't know at the time, but I knew something was off. I knew it was something. Like,
And I came down there, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
came down to Charlotte. I came to spend Thanksgiving with y'all, and y'all could tell I was going through something. And
I knew it was something. I didn't know
I
what,
just
but
went through a breakup as well during the same time as well. It's like, so things kept crashing, but that song single-handedly challenged me to step up, be a man, and figure it out. And I'm so thankful for that song because it became the soundtrack and the turning point of what I had to do. Ended up starting my company, doing well with that, figured stuff out, was able to transition back home to Connecticut and get my life restarted in a different way. But that song, it was the turning point for me. I sat there I actually stood there on the train and was like, okay, this is it. We're going to find out who I really am. And this song was really impactful for me. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to play that couple minutes of that really quick.
I ain't got no choice. Listen to it.
Yeah, I ain't got no choice. Yeah. But this is something.
I loved this song before, but when you gave me the context to it, it just hit different after that. And you made me think, like, I'm not trying to argue.
No, please. I want to share it.
Yeah.
When I found out about his passing, I shared this on social media and said, hey, if you guys are going through something, if you're sad about this, if you're going through anything, put this song on. And you're going to hear some words that are going to help you get through it. It's going to challenge you to get through it. And you're going to be able to stand up to whatever it is you're facing. And this is what this song made me do.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you about it. Oh, yeah. I want to tell you about it. Let me tell you, I've been gone so long. Just want to sing my song. I know you've been here, hearing a lot of things about me. Oh, I know. I've heard it all too clear. This is what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Hey, what you gonna do? I'm gonna hold on to my pride. I'm gonna stick to my guns. Gonna stick to my guns, yeah. I'm gonna put my finger on the trigger. I'm gonna pull it. Then we gon' see what the deal. I'm for real. I just wanna put it on the line. Yeah. That's all I wanna do. I got to put it on the line. Oh, and we haven't got much time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got to put it on. said I got to put it.
All right, because I'm gonna keep going. But listen, if you I can't tell, I don't know what to tell you if you didn't feel that. Like that speaks for itself. For him to speak to me the way he spoke to me through that song, and then on top of it, away from what I was going through, just
Yeah.
smoked it. Like how you get on the track. Don't get on the track and do this. don't, don't even do, how you going to start that way? And then and then the beat drops.
Then the beat drop. Yeah, basically that's that bass guitar. I think he was playing like because I think Raphael might have been on this song. I'm trying to remember who all
Hold on, let me
he
see who's
had.
on his
Quest may have been on. I think he had the crew.
No, you're right. You're right. So Raphael
Yeah.
Sadiq was on this one.
Raphael was on there playing the bass. If Raphael was on there, he was playing the bass.
And he did background vocals.
Yeah,
D'Angelo wrote it and composed it.
Of course. Was Quest?
Yeah.
Quest
So
do the
so
drum?
Raphael Sadiq played the guitar.
Yeah.
He did backup vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
because she get mad at me because when I hear music, I'm like, oh, I know who produced this. And I don't care how it could be from 30 years, like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. I'm like, that sounds like a whoever. I could hear Raphael in that.
right.
But it's D'Angelo with Raphael accompanying him. And they just made beautiful music together. They did. They just like two great musicians. And just that's just I don't want to I don't want to just dwell on this, but just like that, what you just talked about and what we've talked about, like the timestamp of music and what music does. I can go back to, I remember when I was and people get on me and it's not until I start pointing people out and telling what was playing at my second birthday party. I was 2. My oldest memory of when I was 2 years old, in my 2-year-old birthday party, I was when we used to have the speakers, the record player with the speakers, the whole unit, and I was standing and I jumped on top of it and I was dancing on my second birthday, and I remember what was playing, and I remember what happened, like because people they call cap on what I'm saying until I start saying, "Hey, this was playing. They was there. It was there. We were in the backyard. And I was like, "Oh, wow!" But what tied me to that is the music. Like that's what pulls me in, and I can kind of go with that for all these timestamps of my life. I, it's it's either something really great, really traumatic, or I remember what music I was playing or listening to at that time. And D'Angelo, and he was there at important times. Like I said, that's the quality over quantity. He wasn't there a lot of times. I didn't need him to be omnipresent. I didn't need him to be on my face all the time to understand how great he was and how important he was. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. I don't need you to keep telling me or keep giving me all this stuff. I know how great you are, and when you do it, it's impactful. So that's what, like, coming in and bringing the times back, and just what he did. Well, me and you talked about that. Music is either, it can be two things. It can be a thermostat or a thermometer. It can help set your mood, or it can, whatever you're playing, it can tell you what mood you're in. And it can bring you out of something, put you in something, get you through something. Like there's not too many things that do that don't cost $700, $200 an hour to do it. It's like that's some music is therapy for a lot of people. The people that can't afford actual therapy know how to put together the music that can get you where you need to go. And yeah, man, the line, and like I said, it hits different now, and it gives me context. So even I wish I had that when in 19. I wish I had I wish I had that music. I had some others, but it didn't give me what I needed in 1999 when I come back and I got hurt. I don't know. I'm sitting in front of my mom's house in front of this expensive car that I can't afford, that I'm not playing football no more, and I'm sitting there crying, not knowing what I'm going to do. And I just like sitting there at 3 a.m. in the morning crying in front of a house like, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is 1999. So this
Hey,
is
listen,
before.
that good cry at your mama house cry. That's the one.
Man, where else you going to cry? You can't cry at your mama house or the house you grew up in. Where else you going
Those be the
to cry?
ones.
Yeah, 'cause I know if I go in the house like, baby, you all right or whatever, because I got somebody a shoulder I can lean on. So yeah, man. But not like, hey, amazing story, man. That's like the power of D'Angelo, his music, and what you allow it to do for you.
I
Absolutely.
really wish I got an opportunity to thank him
So
for that.
Okay.
No, I just really wish I had an
Yeah.
opportunity to thank him.
I
for
knew
that.
people. Yeah. I actually went to school with people that knew D'Angelo, that grew up with, like, and this was crazy in '95. There were people that I was at school with in Tennessee that knew him, that grew up with him and whatnot. And I've seen, the Kevin Bacon, 5-6 degrees of separation, but like, yeah, I wish that but I hope he understood what he meant to the culture and what he meant to the people and what he meant to music as a whole. Because I'm gonna start there because he's bigger than whatever. He meant to music, he's an important cog. And then to us though, he is an essential cog to what we did. So I hope he understood.
Yeah, you freezing up on me a little bit because
Yeah. Man, that's anything on the monster. You wrote it, you read up. Have we talked about Devil? Is there anything else on Voodoo that you want to talk about? Because I'll be here all night. Like, we can't be here all night because we did. So let me real quick, real shout out.
Go for it.
Hold on. Oh my bad. I think you still there.
I'm still there. Yeah, you froze up a little bit.
Okay, we had a bad connection. So first, I just want to say everybody who watched our marathon 3-hour episode. Oh yeah.
I don't think I can hear you now.
Oh, I think we're good now. I think it was a little
delay
hiccup. I think we're good now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were just talking about. So we're going to. So we gave Voodoo plenty of flowers. We gave Voodoo deservedly so. Lots and lots.
Wait. Cuz wait, hold up.
Yeah, no. You got the mic, bro. Anytime you do what you want to do.
Because
what Devil Spot? What you about to play, man?
Come on. What we playing? Why we playing? You just can't.
You gotta play that. I was wondering, what you doing? You got the mic. You got the ox cord.
Yeah, I couldn't move on. I can't move on. This is hip hop. This is soul. This is everything.
Premier, DJ Premier.
Who am I? Justified. I myself feel the high of all that knowledge mine. Behind the jail or in the grave, have to live. Spirit I made. And if I die before I wake, I hope the Lord don't hesitate. Get to heaven, you went through hell. Tell my peeps, all is well. All them fools, sold themselves, sitting next to just hell. Team is free in my head, on my head, on my bed. In my heart, let me head.
DJ Premier.
Premier.
But
Yeah, I told you, it's Premier. Yeah,
forgot.
it's Premier. Oh, you heard me say Premier, right? You heard me say
Oh
Premier.
no, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you when it first
Oh,
started.
you
Nah.
hear me? Oh, people they don't hear it when I heard I mean the scratches because they had the collective. There was more. This is what we're gonna hear more music from because we didn't hear a lot of the stuff that came out of what Premier did because it was Premier, Quest, Raphael. Like you had all these like producers, like individual producers, and like Andy Angelo, who were in there making music, and there is going to be a ton of music to come out of the early 2000s. And this is kind of a good segue into this came out in 2001
Mhm.
and Black Messiah, which you mentioned earlier, 2014.
Mhm.
And we're so for me, I'll be completely honest with you. All D'Angelo didn't owe me anything else after his first two albums.
Good in my book.
He did not have to give me anything else. And this is like the Biggie of it. Like Biggie didn't know me anything else. Ready to Die and Life After Death. He doesn't owe me anything else. And the features in between, and plus D'Angelo wrote, produced, did all like you will know like he did more than enough. What he gave the world, and because I know what the like with what he did before comes expectations and things of that nature. What he gave us with Black Messiah, it was just for me just a cherry on top. Everything else, I don't even put it in the same category. I don't compare it to. I don't put it in the same bucket. It's a different time period. Neo soul is not like like he just like, but I enjoyed hearing D'Angelo again and hearing his insight, hearing his musicianship, hearing everything that comes with him being him on Black Messiah and the Vanguard. Like I don't want to leave them out. It wasn't just him, because I think he's always around collectives because people love being around someone. He draws people to him. That's what he does. So, and we're gonna hear something from this. We're gonna actually end this in a little bit, but yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts on just what you think about the album. I mean, we don't have to go crazy. We do like the flowers are the first. Just what you think about that one?
Yeah, no. So when the album dropped, right after not hearing him, and you see how beloved Voodoo is to us, and at the time I was
Mhm.
like living in New York and really hustling and busting. I wasn't ready to receive the message that he was trying to send when it dropped originally in 2014. I'm fresh off of Magna Carta, Holy Grail, getting another. There's gonna be a lot of whole Vengeance stuff, I'm telling you. But I'm coming fresh off of that. My taste in music was being a little bit more eclectic. Um, I was in the art. I was doing a lot of
I know how
different
to
things.
get you though. I'm about to get you after this. I'm gonna want you to play one more song before we play the outro. I want you to play one more. You'll hear it, but the finish your point.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna give you one more that'll
yeah,
pull it
yeah,
home.
yeah. No, because I got a couple off there. But my point is, for whatever reason with D'Angelo, right? Because I talked to y'all. 01, 2015, still impactful, right? This
Yeah,
dropped in 2014, still impactful now. Again,
yeah,
two different albums, two different buckets.
yeah.
Wherever I was at the time, I wasn't ready to receive the message, and that's okay, right? You go back to it though, and you're just like, oh, now I'm here. 20, another 10 years, 2025, and the messages from this Black Messiah album is you think about everything that we've gone through with George Floyd and what we've been fighting for and what's happening. And I don't want to get into politics and all that other stuff, but this
Okay,
is
you can do it.
such an important album
Yes.
for where we are even now.
Even
And
Black Messiah is important.
yes, yes, that's what I'm
Titles.
saying. Like, I think he was ahead of his time. Again, when you go into an album expecting something that you got from 2001, I was sorely mistaken. I
Yeah,
didn't hear it the way I needed to
yeah.
hear it. And so as I revisited the album, um, I missed out on some important messages in real time, but the message is still relevant. It's still important, and I think that we need to start celebrating this album a little bit more than I think we have.
Yeah. And I think he started to show some of his influences more. He started to show
Yeah.
some of the Parliament, like because D'Angelo has a voice. We know, I don't. If he does something with, I'm not knocking. I'm not ever going to knock him for doing, because I know he's paying homage to somebody else when he does it, because it's not like he's covering up or hiding anything. He's paying homage to a lot of the people that are his influences that we talked about earlier. And that's what I started. It was almost like a undercover tribute album, but with the political, like, it was a message with it that he was channeling other people to get across. He was channeling his influences to get across. And I do think this is one of those to where it almost has the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, the effect, where because of what the message is and the time it came out, and it's counter to the sound, it's hard to not hard to hear it, but it's just because your ear gets trained to hear a certain thing, and I it just I definitely understand what you're saying, because um I didn't I probably would I like it probably hit fast, sooner for me than it did for you, but I appreciate, I understand what you're saying about it. But I think as time passed, the important thing you said was, now it's like he was talking about stuff that we hadn't seen yet. Now we've seen it. He was saying stuff that we hadn't heard yet. Now we've heard it. So now it sounds different now when you listen to it.
You know what's funny? You brought up Kendrick, and we were talking about
Yeah.
2014. So now,
I wasn't
now
gonna do the video. Oh, that.
check this out. Check this out. So Ferguson had just happened, right? Ferguson, Missouri had happened around 2015, or it was happening.
Yeah.
When did that?
Yeah.
Around that time, right?
Yeah, it was around that time. Yeah.
Right. So
It was around that.
that makes a lot of sense. We needed that album. I think we were a little exhausted. I was a little exhausted by everything that was going on. But
Yeah.
you said Kendrick. To Pimp a Butterfly came out a year later,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that tells you again that timestamp of where we were. See, now the callbacks are happening.
No, it came out the same year. It came out in 14. It came out the same year.
Pip to Pimp TB. Yeah, no, that was 2015.
It was later. No, it was 14. Oh, you might be right. It was either.
I think it was
wasn't
within a
it was
6-month period, but I think one happened in the
Yeah,
fall, and the other one
Yeah,
happened
yeah,
in like spring. It was like one of those things. So same fiscal year, but different calendar
Yeah.
year. But anyway,
right.
Again, I think there was a little exhaustion from everything that was going on for me personally, and so I don't think I was in the space to like hear it the way I needed to. But I revisit that album. I'm thankful for it. I think that again, every listening experience with D'Angelo is going to be different depending on the album, but there's always going to be something there for you. There's always going to be something to pull from it. I love what you said about him channeling some of his influences to do something more modernized during this time, right? The Gil Scott Herons, the Revolution Won't Be Televised type of stuff, and just being able to transcend genres and decades of music to have this type of output is it's really, really impressive. And you have to be a master of what you do. You just have to be a master, and that's the one thing that nobody can take away from. My man was a master at what he did. And then real quick, I'm thinking about, I'm sorry to get a little somber on you. I'm thinking about his son, who also lost he lost his baby mother last year, Angie Stone. So God bless rest her soul as well. Tough things.
This year. It was in March.
Yeah, right.
CIAA. It was months ago. It was this year. Yeah, Michael, he lost both of his parents to I mean, he like to him, they're his parents, but then to us, to the world, it's too like even Angie Stone with what she's written, produced, and how far she goes back in hip hop. She was in hip hop. She was a rapper before, like in the late, like before she did anything. She
Right.
has such a staple to have two parents like that. And again, for us, we look at that, but for him, that's his mom and his dad. So
And
right, and that's like
you talk about
condolences to
timing.
him for.
When I was
Mhm.
living in New York, I got a chance to see Angie Stone live, like this close. It was a small
Hey man, that's
man.
Columbia, South Carolina. Crib, man. That's Columbia, South Carolina. It's fine. That's like them Southerns, man. South Carolina and Virginia. Yeah.
Came up to New York, man, and it was like a little jazz club. I forget where it was. You gotta forgive me. I have to ask my friend. But I actually went with my boss, brought a friend of mine from
That's a
back
blessing, man.
in Connecticut. And during that same time, again, like that's just I don't believe in those coincidences. She was there, and I got to experience her music live, and just one of the greatest
Yeah.
voices I've ever heard. And
Yeah.
was
Her
see her
voice,
live.
yeah, her voice, her writing, her soul, just
Yeah,
you feel what she was saying. And she got caught up in the look thing with her. She always had that voice and like she didn't fit the look what the industry was looking for, but we didn't care. The people she's beautiful. She you're not like bruh, like what are y'all over here doing? She's beautiful, she can sing, she has a great personality. What are you talking about? So
right,
yeah,
right. God rest her soul.
rest in peace to Angie. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah,
So
man.
so I,
Yeah,
I I think I know we don't. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. No, that just I encourage everybody to give Black Messiah another listen. Um, Given the times, be open minded. Um, dig into the music. If you can get it on record, get it on record. It's a different listening experience, and truly sit down and listen to music with no distraction. Don't go on your phone. Don't do none of that. Like I think having a good music session is the best thing for your soul when you just vibe out and really dig into the music
Right.
with no distractions around it. So I encourage y'all to do that. I tell you what, again, my essentials. Anytime I go on a plane, right now with the streaming, when you go on a plane, you got to download your. There's certain albums that
Yeah.
gotta be. It's got to have ready. Like if they always tell you the deserted
Yeah.
island thing. What albums could you live with without? I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't no way that I'm living without Voodoo. Ain't no way I'm living without Brown Sugar, and Black Messiah,
Yeah.
Growing to Love Again. But there ain't no way those won't make the cut. Some else got to get off the island, but those are gonna be there.
Some gotta go. Something gotta go. That's a
Some
great point, and I think that's a great way, to end that. So I just want to say thank you for coming on. So like I said, we were planning one thing, we were planning some other things, and then when this happened, when you sent me that text, man, I actually thought I was like, man, did Kendrick drop again or something? But then it was like when I looked at it, it was like some bad. I was like, oh man, and then I immediately started like what I mean. I changed like we can't talk about anything else but this. Like you can't. I'm not gonna try to squeeze in other segments or topics around D'Angelo. I wish we could give him more time, but like I said, I want people to consume and take in what we're saying. So I know I'm adjusting to what people are listening to. So I appreciate you, just coming on, talking, sharing your experience, and just being a voice and just celebrating the genius that is D'Angelo, celebrating the career that is D'Angelo and what he not meant, what he meant, what he means, and what he will continue to mean for our culture and for Black music. I hope there's people listening to him that will little kids right now that'll grow up that will and there are some artists out there that that are in his vein that try to do what he does. And I hope he's not one of the last ones, like, because we're getting to that point where we're losing certain people, and it's like you're trying to figure out, well, who's going to take their place or who's going to fill their gap or who's going to be inspired by what they do. And he's just like he's a one of one, but I think he also inspired people to just kind of do what he does and just to be yourself, be authentic, and to just make great music and care about what you're doing. So, thank everybody. Thank you again for being here, sharing your experience, talking to everybody. Um, everybody, that's tuning in. Thank you for tuning in before. That was, great. I can tell. I hear people reach out to me like they love you in the conversation. Like I said, man, you got to come back. That's how I get you back.
We got
Because I
we
know
got
you
we
appreciate
got a lot we got a lot of
it. So
stuff to talk about. So we'll do another
we
episode.
got a lot of talk about, man. So I just want to say thank everybody for tuning in to For the Culture. And when I say For the Culture, that's for y'all. That's for everybody. That's for anybody who appreciates and listens to what we have to say and what the experiences we have and what we're doing. So that's what For the Culture means. It's like I'm not doing it for me. I do it for all of us. And just there's things out there that we want to discuss and talk about and touch on. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm not
Sir.
going to keep talking. I'm not going to be the last words y'all here today. D'Angelo's going to take us back out again today. We've touched every album. We've touched Brown Sugar. We've touched Voodoo, and it will be only right. And I think this is the last song on Black Messiah. This is the last song on Black Messiah, and we're gonna see In Another Life. And everybody, I don't have to. I'm not gonna talk out of death about the symbolism there and what that means, man. Last song on his last album that he himself gave us. So please appreciate what this man gave us and what he did for us and what he sacrificed to give us great music, man. If you don't mind, my brother Mike, take us out of here with D'Angelo.
Yes, sir.
Black
Thank
Messiah.
you, dear. Thank you, dear.
Yes, sir.
I just want to see you to me, even though I want to believe. And it only comes different lets me know it's you supposed to be. I gotta pray it on, that's so sweet. All the days, all that I was I just want to take you with me. Sleeping rooms in a mansion somewhere. Shower me all that you need. Take my hand, I swear to take my time. I'm not surprised that it's just complete. For the chance to live and move. I wanna touch it all. It's just that hold you close. I can feel you breathe.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to For the Culture. We definitely appreciate it. We intend on bringing you more and more, content like this. Continue to celebrate D'Angelo. Continue to celebrate anybody that you love and appreciate that's bringing you what they're bringing to you. And just again, for the culture, y'all enjoy. What is this, Wednesday or someday? Everybody go ahead and finish this thing out strong.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead. I'm gonna say it. I don't really ask y'all for much, but we give it to y'all and like go ahead, subscribe to the channel, like, share, share it with anybody else because I really think what me, especially what me and Mike are doing, what everybody that I have on is doing, but what me and Mike are doing is something that I think you all we bring y'all. We put a lot into what we do, and we don't take this lightly. We spend a lot of time on it. We hope you enjoy it and let us know whatever you want to hear. Just give us feedback. Everything that we do. Love you, D'Angelo. Again, I don't want my voice to be the last one that's heard. Let's get this last little piece of Mr. Archer and Miss D'Angelo, and we're gonna get up out of here, y'all. Love y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.